Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope you are enjoying your week so far. Today we are looking at day 29 in our packets, and the very first thing we're looking at, per usual, is our reading and module time. So the first thing you're going to do is check out that video that's in the description below. You're going to watch that video and you are going to look on page 13 of your packet at the second picture right here. So yesterday we looked at the house, and today we're looking at the second picture that shows trees growing indoors. So these trees are growing inside. And what you're going to do after observing that picture on page 13, you are going to decide, is this a good or a bad place to plant a tree? So I want you to just think for a minute. Do you think inside is a good place to plant a tree, or maybe it's not a good place to plant a tree? After you've thought about it for a minute, you are going to write an opinion sentence. So we've been writing our opinions a couple of times already, where you're telling me your thoughts and your feelings. So that means there's no right or wrong answer. If you want to say that it's a good place to plant a tree, go for it. If you want to say it's not a good place to plant a tree, that's all up to you because it's your opinion. You just need to tell me why you think it is or it isn't a good place to plant a tree. So I wrote my opinion piece, and I chose to say that this is not a good place to plant a tree because there is no soil in the floor. So I thought, well, whenever I walk indoors or inside somewhere, usually there's no like soil or grass or anywhere that I could plant a tree. So I said that inside is maybe not the best place, to plant a tree. But remember, this is opinion writing, so you get to choose whether you think it is or it is not a good place to plant a tree. So I can't wait to see the different things you guys come up with. The next thing we're looking at is our word work. And for word work today, we are going to look at page 20 in our packet. So the very last page of our packet, we are looking at that decodable text called Josh and Chip at the Farm. So it's right in the center of the bottom of page 20 in your packet. And I'm going to read this text for us. But your job today is to go through and you are going to highlight 3 high-frequency words. So I'm going to tell you what those words are. Our first word is we, our high-frequency word we. The second word you're looking for is all. And the third word is one. So these 3 words, we, all, and one, you are going to look for those words in your decodable text on page 20. You're going to find those words, you're going to highlight them, and then I want you to write a list of those words. You can fancy write them, you could write them in bubble letters, whatever you want. You're just writing those high frequency words. So we are going to look at Josh and Chip at the farm. Josh and Chip get in a bus. Where are they? A cat is there. They chat with the cat. They see a pig in a pen. There is a lot of mud. They see a hen and a rat. They get on the bus. So that is our decodable text that we're looking at. I would love to see you guys send in some videos of you reading that decodable text. Make sure you're reading nice and smoothly and fluidly. And I can't wait to see you guys reading and highlighting and finding all of those high frequency words in that text. Alrighty, it's time for math today. And in math, we're looking at two new shapes. And our first shape is a cube. So I've got a cube right here for you guys to look at. And our second shape that we're looking at is called a sphere. So let's look at that sphere. Remember that a globe is a sphere. And like a tissue box, a small tissue box could be an example of a cube. So your job is to go around your house. You're going to find as many cubes and as many spheres as you can find around your house. And you are going to use those different shapes that you find. You're going to look at them, you're going to observe them, and you are going to complete page 12 of your packet, the shape attribute page. So it looks like this. And you're going to fill it out for the sphere and the cube. And remember back to yesterday, we're looking for those faces. So any part of the cube or the sphere, which they may or may not have them, any flat surface, remember, is going to be a face. Those corners, the little pointy corners where the lines meet, are going to be the vertices and the corners. And then the edges are those thin lines that connect all of our vertexes or our corners. So just like yesterday, but with our new shapes down here, you are filling out that attribute sheet. And after you've done that, you're looking at page 11 in your packet. And you're filling out the exit ticket for day 29. Alrighty, we have science, our last subject for today. And we are talking about something a little bit new today. We haven't talked a lot about it. It is called texture. So you might have heard that word before, texture. And texture really just means like the feeling of something when you touch it. So we're going to learn about some different textures today. And one of them is soft. I'm sure you've heard the word soft before. And when something is soft, it usually can feel like maybe a stuffed animal or a pillow. I know this pillow is super soft. So I'm sure you've felt something soft before. That's one texture. Another texture would be like the opposite, and it could be hard. So I have a book right here for us to look at. And this book, when I touch this, this is really hard. This would not be comfy like a pillow to sleep on. It's not soft. It's hard. Another texture could be rough. And when something's rough, it's usually like bumpy. It's not soft at all. So I have a nail file here. I don't know if you guys can see that completely, but when you touch this nail file, if you can see that and you can hear it, that is a really rough texture. It's kind of bumpy. It's not smooth. It's not super soft to touch. Like I wouldn't want to rub my finger all over that. Maybe just my fingernail. So that would be an example of something rough. Then there's also things that are fluffy. Fluffy is a texture. And this cotton ball, I've opened it up, it's super fluffy. You can see all that. It's like the inside of a pillow. So this would be, oh, there's some of it floating away. This would be an example of something fluffy. And then there's also bumpy. So you could do maybe the same thing as rough. Or I know I love avocados. Avocados are super bumpy on the outside. So there's a ton of different textures. Feel free to look some up. I just gave you a list of some, but your job is to go around your house and you are going to find either 5 or 6 different objects that are different textures. So that means you can't find 2 fluffy things. You're trying to find things that all feel different. So try to find as many as you can, maybe 5. If you can find 5 or 6 things, that'd be awesome. And you are going to trace your hand that many times. So if you found 5 things or if you found 6 things, you're going to trace your hand 5 times or 6 times. So I've got my hand traced. I found 4 things. So I've got my hand on here traced 4 times, as you can see. My hand takes up the whole paper, but I'm sure you guys can fit 6 hands on here. And your job is to look at those things you found. So let's look at our cotton ball. It's super fluffy. And your job is to, in one of your hands, you're gonna write the object that you found, and you're gonna write a word to tell me how it feels. So I'm gonna write cotton ball because I found a cotton ball. Just gonna write it on the finger here, cotton ball. And to me, the texture of this cotton ball is really fluffy. So I'm gonna write fluffy in that hand. Just like that. So my cotton ball was really fluffy. Now we're gonna look at our nail file. So I'm gonna write nail file on here. And that nail file to me is really rough. So I'm gonna write rough in that hand. When I touch it, it's really rough. So this is just an example. We have our nail file. I don't know if you can read that. And that nail file is super rough. And I'll continue with my other objects on the back of this paper. But your job is to find 5 or 6 objects around your house, and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna draw your hand, you're gonna write that object, and tell me how that object feels when you touch it. I can't wait to see the different things you guys find all around your house, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.